Yeah. Not for this month.
Okay, hold on. Hey, welcome to our first UK meetup, UK Financians. It's awesome to have you here. I'm Tina Baker-Taylor, the UK director for Binance, and I'm here with Josh Goodbuddy. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Tina. Hey to everybody out there. It's a really big day for us. Very exciting.
It is a big, exciting day. We had some press go out already, so it might have deflated our announcement balloon. But
right, a bit of the cat out the bag, maybe a little bit, but we'll get there.
Well, yeah, we'll try and stick to the script and get to it when we get to it, I guess. So this is my first finance event since joining in May, and I'm really super excited. CZ is going to be joining us later as well. And I'm personally really looking forward to having the opportunity to chat with him. Josh, are you as excited as I am?
Absolutely. I mean, this is something that's been in the works for a long, long time for us. We've been thinking, planning, strategizing around Europe and the UK for a while now.
Yeah.
And, it's such a relief to be able to actually kind of talk about it publicly now, start getting things in motion, and really start to see all the pieces of the puzzle coming together. So this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we've been able to throw this together so quickly. Hats off to you and the team for getting this out the door as quickly and building as quickly as we like to do at Binance, as you can probably see. So it's fantastic that it's all coming together now, and we can actually start talking about it.
I know. So being in stealth mode is always a bit nerve-wracking, right? Careful what you say. You don't want to promise something you can't deliver. So, I know for me, it's been difficult to kind of contain my excitement too.
Right.
You've been here for about 6 months now, right? So what other than this have you been working on that 6 months? Because you would think that this and nothing else, since it's such a big deal, but no, you're working on loads of things.
Yeah 6 months. Funny you say that. It doesn't feel like 6 months. It's the kind of thing that when you're building and focusing on just getting things executed, it moves really quickly. Time. So we've been working on a lot of things. As a company, we've been focusing on all of our local market strategies, and that really encompasses all our regions. So we're truly a global company, and something that we're trying to really focus on is being a bit more local. So taking a localized approach to the way that we, offer our products and services to our clients, understanding their local requirements and needs. And you can only really do that by being local. I think that's something that we have realized very quickly as a company. So, we have been looking at the European market for a while. Massive engagement from European communities around all things blockchain, all things crypto.
Yeah.
We really had to be in Europe sooner than later. So for us, the UK is that first stepping stone.
Yeah.
We're also looking as a company at all of our other key markets. So Russia, our Latin American markets. You've seen we've been very active in places like India as well through acquisitions. And I think the key challenge that we have as a business is trying to do it all at the same time. And that sounds easy, but getting it right and doing it well is a real challenge. So we've been kind of upskilling our team, hiring some really interesting new talent in local regions and countries to kind of grow out the presence that we have there and get it right. So that's kind of on the local market side, but our company's also been focusing on rolling new products and services out there. So earlier this year, we talked about the Binance Card, which is something that we've been focusing on as a business for the last 6 months now. We are, we're getting there. We're building frantically behind the scenes. We are, really looking at what the USP should be for that card to make it super engaging and interesting for our clients, making the whole user journey seamless. And I think we're nearly there. But I'm not going to steal today's thunder. We're not going to talk about the card anymore. We're talking about UK today.
So you're talking about the localized experience. And I know that for me, that was really the key USP to join you and work on this project and really come to market for something that was tailored to the UK audience,
Right.
and that was really fit for purpose for European appetite, right? And we know that every market engages with not only crypto but financial services, with digital banking, all of those things, with their money in very unique ways, right? I think in the UK, one of the things that I take a lot of responsibility for as top of my priority list is really getting that user experience right. And I think it's a bit of a tall order for us in the UK because this market is already quite spoiled with sleek UX, fast payments. And they're really used to that kind of mobile first experience. So I think for us, that is something that is really important. And if we do get it right, that coupled with, our commitment to our customers and the suite of products and services that Binance is known for continually innovating around, is a real opportunity for this market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, the localized approach really comes down to being customer first in terms of your mindset, making the product work in a way that your local customers expect it to.
Yeah.
And as you've said quite rightly, the UK is a massively competitive market across all kind of segments of fintech, whether it's kind of digital banking, whether it's cryptocurrencies, whether it's kind of, all elements of blockchain innovation. The UK's got it all. And that means we have to be on our A game. And with respect to that, the high priority for us has been building a product that is super easy to use, but also fit for purpose for those that really want to trade and have all the tools and services that people are used to from our .com product. So taking the best of .com, but actually building a layer on top of that that is super easy for retail. So customer experience is a massive thing that we've been focusing on as a business, but also from a UK perspective as well. So really drilling down into the overall details of what this service will look like and how we can make it easy to use and accessible has been the core driving focus for us and the team.
Yeah.
And it means, people like you and I who aren't necessarily product people by background, we have to get our hands dirty and we have to.
We are now.
Yeah, we've got to build the user journey with our product team from the ground up.
We're users. And I think that is one of the, critical elements of this is you and I have traded on multiple exchanges.
Yeah.
We are probably a bit more knowledgeable around the types of trading tools that are available on different platforms. But ultimately, we want to have a frictionless experience.
Yeah.
And that might not necessarily relate to how experienced a trader you are or how knowledgeable of crypto you are. For me, I might have a trading strategy that requires me to be very active for a particular period of time or for a particular token. But then, some news might come across, my iPad while I'm sitting there watching TV, and I just might want to hit the spot market real quick. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, there's tools for specific people. It can be specific tools for specific moments in time for specific people. And I think that complexity around the nuance of how people actually invest and trade is pretty important to try and get right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if you look at our .com product, we do a lot of things very well, but we put them all in one place. And sometimes for a lot of new users, that's quite intimidating. If I was to say to my parents, hey, can you log on and see if you can buy a Bitcoin? I think they'd probably find it relatively challenging. I think most people would actually. It's a new thing for everyone. So it's down to us when we build these local products and services to make them easy. They've got to be as foolproof as possible. But I think a large burden as well falls on us as the educator, right? So, we as a company have been talking about crypto for 3 years nearly now. We've launched Binance Academy, Binance Vision. We put a lot of material out there that helps educate people, but we have to localize that education as well. So we've got to bring that education to people, whether that's via mediums like this, YouTube, whether that's via kind of little bite-sized snippet videos that we can put out there. We want people to understand what they're getting involved in. I think that's the key. People don't feel like they're a passenger. They feel like they're in the driving seat. So making the product easy, educating the user really puts people in the safe zone to feel comfortable doing what they do.
Yeah, 100%. I think, and that's part of the benefit of having a local team is having the right time zone, people that you see at different meetups and events, very accessible to get in touch with someone in the UK team. And, I've noticed that recently on our new Telegram channel. So if anybody is watching and you're not on our new UK Telegram channel, please join us. It's great to be able to talk to our users directly, and people ask me and you and Iller directly, can we do this? Can we do that? We'd really like to see this. These tokens are really important to us. And that direct engagement and that open channel of communication means that we're going to be better informed about what the community wants. And then, hopefully we'll be able to be better able to give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the funny thing about crypto, right? We come from a finance background, we've worked in big banks and
you can't call HSBC and say, can I please have? And then they
exactly. Get in line, get on a phone call, maybe submit a ticket. You'll hear back from us in a month or two. The crypto space is so different, right? We are engaged from day one, and we are directly accessible. And that is unique. And I think that is one of the most exciting things about what we're doing. And what the crypto space is doing as a whole, it's connecting with our users. So we get real-time feedback about our product. And when CZ comes on, he can talk about that as well. But he is connected with our user base on Twitter, so they can throw as much mud as they want. They can throw as many questions as they want at him, and he'll answer, and he's responsible. So that makes it unique in many respects, I think.
Well, I think that accessibility. So we'll talk about CZ before he gets here, I guess. That not a lot of companies, the size of Binance, not just crypto companies, but other types of firms, respond directly to users. So since I've joined, there have been a couple questions that have come up from users around the world. And, they've reached out to CZ on Twitter and said, hey, CZ, can you help me? I've tried to resolve this problem. And usually they're external circumstances. And I've seen him jump in on several occasions personally and, handle it, address talk to the user, find out what's going on, and then take it away and actually, help to resolve the problem. So, that's not the usual way a CEO might communicate with his constituency, right? And ours does.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that makes it equally exciting for the users because they have direct contact with the decision maker, and they can get things and their requests right in front of the decision makers. So that's pretty cool. I don't know any other service that I've used where I can ping the CEO and the management team and go, hey guys, have you thought about this? Or hey, could you help me out with X, Y, and Z? It's unconventional, but it's the new norm, I believe. And I think it will become the way that everybody starts serving their users.
Well, and I hope, this community will give you and I a chance to potentially try and resolve their problem first. So
indeed,
I am always available. You can get me on Twitter at Tina Taylor anytime. My DMs are always open. Josh, what's your
I'm at Josh Goodbody, probably one of the few people with such a strange surname, so you should be able to find me.
Yes. So definitely. Okay, so CZ is going to join us in just a moment.
I think he has just come into the lobby, so there we go.
Okay, great. Let's get it. Oh, there he is. Let's get him on. Hey, CZ.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hey, CZ. I think your camera is off. Maybe you're adjusting your hair. See if you can turn it on.
Let me figure this out. Oh, usually it's default on. I don't know why.
Bottom left-hand corner, there's a video camera.
I don't see it actually. This is giving me a different interface, which is interesting.
Oh, okay. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's see.
Inevitably, I think in these kind of video conferences, although it's become, because of COVID, the norm, there's always technical challenges.
Yeah. Okay, I can see a video somewhere. All right, there we go. I think it's turning on.
There you are. Hey.
Hey, CZ. Now, that's a snazzy shirt you're wearing there. What is that?
Yeah. This is our summer shirt. You guys haven't got it?
No, we don't have it yet. We don't have summer.
We don't have summer. We don't need it. But we want it for sure.
Yeah, CEO perks.
In the winter, when we have, maybe some Binance puffer vests, then you can be jealous of us because we'll be freezing.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited. Josh and I were just talking that, the news has leaked a little bit, but we've got some other things that we kind of want to chat with you about first. And then, we'll get to the nitty gritty of the announcement, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I noticed in a recent interview with Cointelegraph last week that you were talking about what's required to grow a successful international company. And given that we're here today to talk about expansion plans, I wondered if you could share with us, the key tenets of what you consider a global mindset.
Sure. Okay. I think I said quite a bit in the article for Cointelegraph, but I'll focus on one thing, which is to go global, right? We actually have to go local. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but there's different cultures, different ways of doing business, different mindsets in every different place. So for example, today, I think we really want to go local in UK, right? So, and both of you guys are from UK, and you guys understand the local culture there much better than we do, or than I do, even though I do speak English to a decent degree. And but to have the complete local mindset is really, really important. We got to engage with local users, local regulators, etc. So that's kind of I think we want to focus on that goal we want to be a global company, but that's very local in everywhere. So I think that's going to be a challenge. So that's having local teams, having local authorities, having local decision powers, having local execution capabilities. So all of those things come into play. And a lot of those things come into conflict with a centralized sort of, say, global CEO, for example, myself. So I think one of the things we do better is I tend to recognize those differences, and we tend to give the freedom to the local teams to the extent we can. So I think that's one of the keys that we want to. We're not perfect. We want to improve, and I think we're doing better than most people already. So. I think today Binance is probably one of the most globalized startups. If you look at a 3-year company, but we want to continue to grow in a globalized, localized fashion.
Awesome.
Excellent. Yeah, brilliant. And I think it's always a massive challenge scaling globally at such a pace, and trying to focus on key markets is obviously one of the additional challenges as you're doing that, right? So Susie, from your perspective, when you look at the kind of strategic viewpoint of what you're building and what you're trying to enable your teams to build, what is it about Europe that makes it an important growth market for crypto and for Binance as well?
I think Europe has always been very important in crypto. I think Europe has always been the early adopter. Europe has some really interesting characteristics and culture. You can travel between countries without showing your passport in Europe, right? You drive on the highway and then suddenly you're in a different country. There's no border, nothing. You may be using a different currency. You may be speaking a different language, but there's no borders. So I think the concept of borderless, the sort of globalness mindset is already there, and which is also one of the reasons I think we have seen crypto adoption being very high in a large number of European countries. So Europe, each individual country are not so protective of their own currency per se. Like they're protective, but they're less protective compared to some of the other countries in the world. So having that global mindset and having that early adoption, and also Europe is a very developed economy. So people are the economy is very advanced there. The financial systems are very advanced. So we have an advanced, open financial economy, and that's relatively receptive to innovations and change. I think that's really, really a good combination of things. So we're very happy to be able to explore this more now and explore this more formally. So yeah.
Great. Thanks.
That's an interesting parallel that actually I have never thought of until you just said it, that potentially the willingness to adopt different types of currencies or different mediums of exchange in Europe could potentially be affected by, 30 countries at some point giving up their national currency and adopting a single medium of exchange. And the culture shift that it took to be able to do that, to implement the euro, it didn't come without any friction, but it managed to happen. And I've never drawn that parallel before. I think that's really interesting. There's other parallels between kind of the traditional financial markets and the crypto space. And we're starting to see, crypto companies talking about being banks, and banks starting to offer crypto. The lines are really blurring. Where do you see that going in the next year to 3 years?
I think over the next 3 years or so, the line's going to continue to blur. I think before it was like two extremes, right? Before it was like, okay, banks running fiat, and then all the crypto guys, Bitcoin guys are drug lords. So before there was that perception of two extremes. And in the crypto world, the pure crypto guys want full decentralization, nothing in between. If you touch fiat, you're bad. So there's those really sort of two extreme kind of views. But I think right now, the crypto market is still very small, right? So it's probably 0.1% of the overall population have crypto. And the fiat market is really, really large. We actually got to bridge the two. And right now we're seeing that regulations are shaping up. Now a lot of banks in Europe are allowed to actually encourage the service crypto. And we have crypto companies buying up banks or at least getting bank accounts, custodian bank accounts, etc. So I think we'll continue to see those two industries blur. And we also have things like credit card providers. Before, they were relatively reluctant to provide services or work with crypto businesses. And now there are crypto funded credit card that you can just swipe and spend. So we kind of see those two mashing together. So I think the line's going to continue to blur more. I think we're going to see a lot more banks having some kind of crypto service capability. And we're going to see crypto guys having more fiat channels. So we are more of the crypto business. We started as a crypto to crypto business. So we're working very hard to add more fiat on-ramps, fiat channels, and having Binance UK will give us a really strong channel for the European fiat for the fiat markets. So I think the lines will continue to blur, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a convergence is definitely a natural evolution in the stage. Hopefully there's going to be less rivalry between the two sectors and more symbiosis, but we will see. So changing gears slightly, drawing upon a little bit of the things that you find really important personally and for our business. Binance has had an initiative called Crypto for COVID. And this has really been a global initiative. So, Binance's charity arm has been involved in doing philanthropic things and charitable endeavors, specifically to help mitigate COVID around the world. Now, here in the UK, what Binance Charity has recently done is donated, I think, 30,000 masks to our National Health Service. And in particular, I think it was the Princess Royal University Hospital. And that was, personal protective equipment to help in our fight in the UK against COVID-19. For you, CZ, what is it about philanthropy that is important for you, and where do you see the kind of intersection between blockchain and philanthropy?
Yeah, I think there's a number of really important factors. I think number one is just helping other people makes yourself feel good. I think that's just very fundamental human nature. Any animal, any species that doesn't have that, the species probably doesn't survive very well. So it is in our genes to want to help other people, and we feel very rewarded helping other people. I think that's really the fundamental foundation for doing the any charity work. Anybody who's done donations, they just feel good. And number two is I think blockchain has a lot to offer for the charity into the charity aspects. I think traditional charities, even though they do a lot of good, they do a lot of help in with social impact, but it's they are somewhat less transparent, given the tools, the fiat they use are less transparent, and blockchain can make this much more transparent. So I think having now with the Binance Charity Foundation, all the donations are tracked on the blockchain, so you can see on the website where all the money is going. I think with that kind of increased transparency, a lot more people will be willing to donate, and so it will be a positive cycle. And the third part is actually it also helps adoption for the crypto industry. So if we're giving crypto to help others, so instead of people learning about crypto thinking that is only used by drug lords, now that their first interaction with crypto may be that they receive a donation to help them out. Right. And this will be a very strong motivation for them to adopt crypto. And even for Binance, if the industry gets bigger, we will benefit. So there are indirect benefits, commercial, even business benefits for Binance anyway. So all of those things are good. So there's multiple reasons to do it. And I actually had the idea in 2014, but in 2014 I didn't have the execution capability to do it. But now Binance is has a strong ecosystem, has a large team, and we're able to execute it. So that's really the key, the very fortunate part of it. So on multiple fronts, it makes sense, and it's just a really good thing to do.
Great.
Super. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, thank you for sharing some of your personal thoughts. We wanted to cover a couple of different topics because we haven't had you in the UK as often as maybe some of the other regions. So we look forward to seeing you more often. But thanks for giving us some insight into how you think. I think that's really important. So the reason that we're here today, we invited the community to join us because we do have a big announcement. CZ, will you please tell us what we're going to be doing in the UK?
Well, I think the background says already, right? we're gonna launch Binance UK. So so it's not exactly a secret. I think the news actually broke out a couple of hours ago. Mm-hmm. So Binance UK is very unique, as you guys already know. But just to tell the community, it is a fully regulated, FCA regulated exchange. So we work with a partner locally in the UK. They're fully licensed. And we want to bring a fully regulated, fully compliant exchange into the UK with fiat on-ramps. And hopefully initially servicing somewhere, I guess, around 65 coins and may expand plus or minus a few, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a very unique offering that we're able to offer. And of course, our common approach is anything we do, it's going to be the lowest fee. So it should be good for users, another option for users. So that's pretty much it. I'm really excited about it. So I can't wait to get that launched.
Awesome. Yeah, same here. Same here.
Same here.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, I think maybe we can answer questions from the audience. Is everybody okay with that? Because I think there might be some specific questions. I know we had some specific questions in our Telegram channel and our Twitter channel. So if anybody has questions that they'd like to ask now, of course, please do that on your YouTube link. And I'm going to welcome our community manager, Iller, to join us and help us run the Q&A. Let's see if we can get him back. There he is. Hey, Iller.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Iller.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes.
Perfect. Oh my gosh, the community is loving the announcement, by the way.
Great. Good.
So thank you very much so far for sort of discussions around, the regulation, sort of the crypto sort of industry in the UK. We've got a lot of interested questions from the community. I'm just going to ask each and every one of you. So I'm going to start off with CZ. So a question from a YouTube comment is, what is the difference between Binance UK and Binance.com?
Question.
Okay. So Binance UK is an affiliate of Binance, right? So we work with a local partner to launch a UK catered exchange, fully compliant locally. And Binance UK will be addressing the local market. We'll work very closely with the local policymakers, regulators, etc.
Yeah.
So whereas Binance.com is sort of the global crypto to crypto exchange, if you think about it, even though Binance.com do cover a number of fiats already, but we want to have a strong local presence for the local fiat on-ramp. And the Binance.com will have a number of more exotic products like margin futures, etc., which may have limited scope in UK initially. We of course hopefully eventually we will be able to add those services in the UK, but the UK is more locally fiat focused and compliant exchange. So that's really sort of the key differences. Yeah.
Great response. I just want to give a shout out to a Twitter user, T Muse, who's watching it live on his room. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and especially for everyone who's asking your questions on YouTube. So the next question, which I've seen a lot, this is directed to Tina. So what's your UK strategy? Who are your target customers? How will you onboard new users from the UK to use Binance?
Okay. Well, I think our target customer is really anyone that wants to participate in, digital and crypto assets. What I think is unique about the approach that we're going to take in the UK is that we're going to attempt to tailor that experience based on a number of factors. It could be how much time you have. It could be how experienced you are. It could be what assets you're interested in. So when our users join the platform, they have options around, trading in an order book environment, or maybe something that's more basic and just in a buy, sell, spot environment. For me personally, the goal here is to just get more people involved in participating in the ecosystem. So, the roadmap of what we're trying to do, in a very broad and vague way, is to start to add services that might cater to different types of risk appetites. So, for example, today you might feel comfortable buying and holding, and you're not actively trading, but maybe you want to earn something on, the savings that you have. And so potentially that might be something that we bring to the UK. So ideally, what we want to do is make it easy for people to get involved and join the ecosystem. We want to make it very simple for them to participate, and we want to make it frictionless for them to be able to deposit and withdraw in a safe and secure environment, with the confidence that they're trading on a regulated platform, if that's important to them.
That sounds great. I'm really, really eager to start using Binance.uk. So the next question is to Josh. So what new products are on the roadmap for the UK?
Great question. So without revealing anything,
oh come on, the
community we're working on, I don't want to jump the gun yet. We're just revealing the product today. We will be making some interesting announcements down the road, but I will give you a little bit of a flavor into what we're building, and this is kind of unpacking some of the themes that Tina's mentioned. So, we want to make a service that's super easy for people to use. And some people find the whole crypto space intimidating enough as it is, right? And logging onto an exchange and seeing this exchange order book with all of the graphs and all of the colors is intimidating for a lot of people, right? So we're building an environment that's going to strip that back for the ones that don't want that environment. So it's really all about choice. What kind of a user are you? Are you someone that wants just to slowly start accumulating a bit of Bitcoin? You want to hodl a little bit. You want to keep increasing your Bitcoin holdings over time. You might want to set up a direct debit from your account to keep accumulating your Bitcoin holdings over time. We'll cater for that, and you won't have to go through a more, should we say, sophisticated environment that caters more for traders. So a simple, easy to use product is something that we are building from the outset. Now, in terms of its fiat capabilities, that's really front and center of what we're doing here. We've listened to the community. We can see a real need to have and demand to have a GBP and Euro compatible offering, something that allows you to get your funds on easily and withdraw your funds with equal ease. So it's a seamless bridge between the fiat world and the crypto world. So this will be what we hope to be a best-in-class fiat to crypto experience with all of the benefits that you get with Binance of having that crypto to crypto expertise. So I'm not going to reveal any more of our secret sauce just yet, but we will over time. So I hope that gives you an initial snapshot into what we're building.
That sounds really good. I think from what I gathered, so Binance.uk will be a very simple, got like a user experience UI, but also allows the capacity for sort of the more advanced traders to still continue trading. So it caters for a whole more demographic, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah, it covers a broad demographic. So retail users that just want to click and buy and sell, and more experienced traders that want that full service trading experience.
Perfect. Next question to CZ. Will Seifu cover Binance.uk as it does Binance.com?
Oh, that's the easy one. Yes, you will. So I think in all of our partner exchanges, we want there to be a Seifu fund that covers the for any unexpected issues. So yeah, it will be there.
Sounds good. So next question. Thank you so much for all the comments on YouTube. The next question will be to Tina. What will the fees be for Faster Pay Network and SEPA?
What will the fees be for faster payments and SEPA?
Yeah.
Okay, so faster payments in the UK is the network that's set up for banks to exchange with each other. Same with SEPA across the EU. We have a service provider that will be supporting that functionality for us. And the fees, as CZ said, will be passed through to the user, but they're minimal, somewhere around 30 cents. Or 30 pence, I should say. So incredibly low fees for those transactions, or for the deposit and withdrawal ability. Yeah.
Sounds good. So the next question, thank you so much, is to CZ. Will you be expanding the current tokens for trading on Binance Jersey? The community are requesting a lot of different tokens, EOS, Link, Ontology, etc. And they're also requesting, British pounds pairs with like Tron, for example. Will you be offering that on Binance Jersey?
Yeah, I actually don't know the answer, to be honest. Binance Jersey, well, with all of our fiat exchanges, local exchanges, they are mostly run by our partner. They usually have different listing requirements based on local regulatory policies. So it's not as straightforward as Binance.com listing any coin anytime when the technology is ready. So it really depends on the process there. But I think so far the intention for UK is to list a relatively a smaller selection to Binance.com, but a relatively large selection compared to most other fiat exchanges. But again, those things are subject to change. So we'll see. But being Binance, Binance as the technology provider, we can provide a large technology that cater to a large number of selection of coins. But we'll have to see as time goes on.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good. And remember, you tweeted earlier today. I think a user on Twitter was just asked the question, what is the difference between Binance.uk and Binance Jersey? And I think you responded, options. It's good to have those options available so people can choose to opt in and do whatever they want. So that's really good. The next question is to Tina. When should we expect the Visa cards to start rolling out in the UK?
Oh, here's Josh's card again. So when can we expect it? We're working really hard to bring card to market in the UK. We want it to be perfect when it does come to the UK. We think that that's probably, Josh, sometime around September.
Yeah, summer I think is a good benchmark for us. Might be sooner, might be later, but the key is the product has to be tip top. So we're nearly there. So
you heard it here, folks. Summer, be ready to pay with crypto.
Yeah.
So actually, this is a question for Josh. So will the UK exchange generate reports for clients to print off for tax events? At the moment, the fees are in crypto, such as BNB, for example, but they don't have like a pound conversion price. Will that be available for Binance.uk?
That's a great question. I think this goes back to what we're always trying to do, which is listen to people's requests and try and cater for those. And in some markets, of course, where, for example, crypto is taxable, it's super important that we support that. So, from day one, you'll be able to download a CSV file of your trade history, which of course you can use to do your tax reports. A necessary evil, unfortunately, but you've got to get your taxes in order, and we'll do the best we can to support you by giving you the records that you need to do that. In terms of the pound conversion, that's a very interesting question, and I don't know the answer to that just yet, but I do know that we're collecting a lot of feedback from our users right now on what they'd like to see in the future. And that's kind of building on what they've got used to at a .com level, what they're going to be seeing at a .uk level, and really where we can improve that. And so if there is a demand for pound or euro conversions to be able to get your tax reporting easy, for us, it's really a no-brainer. But please do send us your comments and feedback. We're always listening.
Sounds great. Thank you. The next question is to CZ. Are there any plans to improve server performances during high volatility periods?
Yes, absolutely. That's actually the #1 priority we have always been working on, and we've been working on that for about a good part of 2.5 years now. So even especially after the 2018, end of 2017 to early 2018 rush, we had some server issues, but we have been working for the last 2.5 years to improve performance all over the place. So I think in one of the other podcasts, people ask me what keeps me up at night. I tell them is when Bitcoin goes another 10 or 50x, such high volumes, we just want to make sure that our servers can cope with it. Luckily, very recently there has been a few peaks in trading volumes, and I think we have handled it relatively well so far. Not completely without glitches, but no major issues with trading, etc. So yeah, I think some of the work has already been paying off, but that's always one of the highest priorities for like where I spend a lot of my time sort of talking with our tech teams, trying to figure out how to optimize the performance process. So yes, so we should be ready for it, but there will be some glitches here and there because no matter how much stress test you do in the test environment, it's always different from the production environment. Mm-hmm. So, but overall, I think we're pretty well positioned to address that when it comes, and I think it will come sooner or later, very soon, I think. So yeah, I think we're as ready as we can for it.
Mm-hmm. Very bullish you remain. So next question is to Tina. Will you be adding fiat pound withdrawals to PayPal, Revolut, and Uphold?
Okay, so day one, we are still working on the partners that we will be confirming. So I don't have the answer to that particular question at the moment. But what I can tell you is a really unique feature that we will be able to offer customers is the ability to create a virtual account. So one of the reasons that people will be using PayPal and Uphold is to ensure that they don't potentially have, a little snafu on the other side with their current banking provider. Mm-hmm. Because of some of the friction that exists between, what CZ was talking about, blurring the lines. It's still not completely blurred. And so we still have some of these challenges on the outbound side when we withdraw. So by offering our customers a virtual account with your own IBAN and account number and sort code, you won't potentially need to use services like PayPal anymore, which offer a significant amount of fees. So I think this is going to be a pretty significant feature for the UK. And I know I'm personally looking forward to opening a virtual account within the environment that it will act like any other bank account that you own.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Tina. The next question is to Josh. So is there a way of adding trailing stop loss on Binance.uk?
Trailing stop loss.
Good question. I think we've actually seen quite a bit of feedback around this from the community, especially on Twitter. Lots of people are going, are you going to implement a trailing stop loss? We at the moment, we have an alert function, which it's not a trailing stop loss per se, but it's an alert function that will give you the ability to, keep on top of your positions and make sure that you're, acting accordingly with the way the market's going and whatever your objectives are. So we have that alert that lots of people on the Android app don't know about, for example. So they can use that as an alert mechanism. But we are always developing new trading functionality, and that includes new order types or trading functions. So we have a long wish list at the moment. And going back to something I said earlier, which is do tell us if this is something you want. Raise this in different social forums, whether it's Twitter or other mediums, and we will be able to act on it. It's something that from a technology perspective we can do. The question is when we can get it built. So yeah, let us know if this is important for you. We'll definitely listen.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Josh. I think a lot of traders are excited to hear that. So the next or the last question will be to CZ. What European market are you most excited to explore next?
Well, I think we're exploring UK. I'm pretty excited about it already. So I think basically we want to be able to service every market in Europe. And Europe's pretty much a single market anyway. So, but I think starting with UK now is a really good step, is a really good next step after Jersey. Jersey is pretty close to UK, but it's not quite UK just yet. So I think having a presence in the UK will give us a really strong presence all over Europe. So which market is going to come next? I'm not too sure, but let's get UK up and running solid and make sure that we provide a really good user experience, really simple user experience, and a really good service. So yeah, that's really the next step.
That's perfect. And I'm just building on top of that. The community are asking many different questions regarding sort of, will we have a UK office? You know, are we recruiting in the UK? I don't know who wants to jump in and answer that. But it seems the community are very eager to start helping out.
Shall I take that one? The office question. It always comes up, doesn't it? They always want to get that in somewhere. So everything Binance does, we can do remotely, right? As a first port of call. We're not dogmatic about the need to have an office where everybody sits 24/7, 5 days a week. It's just not necessary. You know, we as a company in CZ's philosophy in hiring the right people allow us to really get on with things as a team because we hire people we can trust. Now, despite that, of course, there needs to be a space where the company is registered, where the company has, you know, certain space that people can go and work should they choose. It's all about its choice. It's not a question of, you know, black and white. There is or isn't an office. For us in the UK, it'll absolutely be a choice. There'll be a registered office, absolutely. And I think, you know, people that work in the UK will have the ability to get together now and then and work together if they want to. I think that's a good kind of middle ground for us, giving people the ability to choose how they work. And I think, you know, everyone has had a bit of a rude awakening because of COVID that haven't been working remotely and have realized that life can go on. And in fact, you can actually be more productive working remotely. And we've known that for a while as a company. So we're going to continue with that kind of mindset. Now, in terms of hiring, really good question. We have been looking at local talent in Europe and in the UK for a while. We've been slowly kind of augmenting and building our team bit by bit. And Tina was our first hire in the UK. We will absolutely be expanding, but we want to do well and get the product out there first. So we're gonna get the product up, get it out, get the feedback that we need, and you know, hopefully all goes well. We're convinced that it will. But if it does, then of course we'll look to build out our presence. And as with all the hiring that we do, it's always public. So it'll be on our LinkedIn page. You know, you'll be able to see it on various job boards as well. So please do keep your eyes peeled. And if you want to send a speculative CV in advance, you're very welcome to do so. We love that.
Send it over. I think from my perspective on the working remotely thing, I joined this firm in the middle of COVID. So I think that's incredible that I could be onboarded, get involved in actually being part of delivering this new proposition to the UK, and all of that happened with me not going into an office because of the way CZ and our leadership team has set up our distributed work environment. So I think a lot of companies have, as Josh has said, has struggled, and we've just continued to thrive, I think. CZ, do you have any views on the COVID situation? We didn't talk about that earlier, but I think this is a good segue to that.
Sure. I think basically, yeah, I mean, our philosophy is anywhere you work could be your office or not, depending on how you call it. So Binance UK is a registered, fully compliant entity, so you will have a registered office. Whether people are forced to work in the office or not, we do not dictate that. It's really, as Josh said, a personal preference. And I strongly feel that if you're willing to work hard, if you're passionate about your job, if you really like what you do, you can be productive anywhere. And you can be productive like at home, in your office, in a coffee shop, on a bus, on a train, in an airplane. So you can be productive in any of those places. So we have guys like we don't. I never really have a concept of a working hour. So people just work whenever they work, whenever they're able to work. So I mean, basically, this is your life, right? You should pick something that's meaningful for you to do, and you should want to do it. We should not be just doing. I don't think people should be doing their work just to get paid. I think we're kind of moving away from the forced labor type of areas. I mean, you do want to get paid so that you have a decent lifestyle. But so I think that's kind of our philosophy, which is just to be very much freedom driven. So, but UK will have an official office, but people we're hiring, but at the same time, Binance always has a small team. So Binance has always been able to do quite a lot with a small team. But we look for people who are really strong, who are very passionate, and you typically is a small group of those guys will be able to do a lot than guys who are just taking a salary. So that's kind of always our hiring mentality.
That sounds good. And I got a couple more questions. The community are so eager. They're like, no, more. So this question, if whoever wants to take it, is Binance UK only for retail investors, or do we offer an institutional platform as well?
It's for both, but Josh, why don't you give some
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fair to say for both. For the retail user that wants the simplest, easiest user journey possible, they'll have that. For an institutional trader that wants the ability to use a really sophisticated web-based trading interface, they'll have that as well. And also, connecting in the ways that you would expect via API, etc., that'll be accessible as well. So it's really down to the user. We're looking to cater for all segments of the market. And I think the product that we've built is absolutely ready to do that as well. But again, if there's feedback about what we've built and the things we're missing, let us know. We'd love to add it.
Yeah, if you're an institution and we don't have something you're looking for, please tell us what that is.
And I think it's important that we, for the retail side, that we offer, the best platform for the newcomer. Because I feel as if a lot of products out there really overwhelming, really complicated, and they kind of scare the layman. So I feel as if Binance.uk will be the perfect bridge between sort of a newcomer that has no, industry knowledge, no awareness of crypto, and will be easily allowed to get in and buy their first crypto. So that's what I'm really excited to work on Binance.uk, is because we can offer that opportunity to the UK population. So that's really exciting. And the last question, I know I'm taking up most of your time, but for me, the community are very loud and very want to ask so many questions. So the last question is, I would love a Binance UK hoodie and cap. When will these be made?
I don't think we have a Binance UK specific hoodie or hat just yet, right? We haven't got to the merchandises just yet. I think US, they made some, I actually didn't know about it. I just saw it online. I just saw it when it's ready. So yeah, but I think the first priority is always to get the exchange up and running, to get the platform up and running. But after that, all the merchandise, all the swag will come along.
Yeah,
swag is so important, CC.
I mean, we are so as a quartet, we are so swagged out right now, aren't we? But they can always get their hands on a Binance cap.
Yeah.
So if they do want a Binance cap, find us on Twitter and shout at us. We'll see if we can sort you out.
Well, actually today, Josh, if you go to Binance.uk, you can give us your email address and let us know if you would like to receive updates as when we're ready to start telling you a little bit more about the exchange and when it's coming. And so if you sign up, I think there could possibly be some giveaways of hoodies.
Hint, hint.
Interesting. Okay.
I love the UK. We're very subtle with our wink, wink.
Very subtle. Yeah.
And follow our social channels, because it's possible we might be giving away some hoodies there too.
Perfect. I think that wraps it up now. I'm just going to hand it over to Tina and Josh to the last remarks.
All right.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
So CZ, I just wanted to thank you again for joining us today. It was really great to have you. Do you have any parting words for the community, or good advice for me and Josh?
Not that much. I mean, I'm really stoked to. I'm really eager and couldn't wait to launch Binance UK. So I'm really looking forward to it. And I think there's a lot of work to be done between now and the full launch. There's always a lot of details, but we'll keep working on it. We'll keep working through it. And but overall, I'm feeling very positive about it. So hopefully we'll be able to launch the exchange very soon, and then be able to service you guys and give you guys more swag, make more swag to hand out, etc. And I actually have visited UK quite a bit, but not in the last 6 months or so. But before that, I was in UK a couple of times, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, you had that massive kind of get together in Canary Wharf, I think, last year, didn't it? I think there was something like 800 people all squeezing into this small room. So it was a good event, wasn't it?
That was a really good event. And then before that, I went there like another 6 months earlier, just sort of chilling out there, meeting a bunch of people. So yeah, I mean, UK is fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to having you back here very soon. When normality resumes, we'll start thinking about these things.
Definitely. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. If you are interested to learn a little bit more about CZ, CZ is going to join me next week on CoinScrum Markets. So take a look at our Twitter, and you'll get the details for that. But CZ and I will have some quality time together, and I might ask him a personal question or two. So look forward to that next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Super
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much, guys.